Everyone. For today's education topic, we will be discussing fiber. The outline for today's talk will encompass why we care about fiber, how much we need versus how much we get, and finally, ways to apply the information you've learned today. So why do we care about fiber? To begin, I want to make sure you have an understanding of how heart-healthy soluble fiber works. Soluble fiber is a term that you may have heard. It specifically refers to that kind of fiber that is actually beneficial in lowering your LDL cholesterol. You see in the picture on the screen here of oatmeal. Most of the studies that were done that specifically looked at fiber and cholesterol used one type of fiber called oat fiber. I love this little diagram because it depicts what actually happens in the gut level. The O's in the little picture in the stomach represent fiber, and the C's represent cholesterol, or the big breakdown products from fats we eat. Of course, when we eat, there's a mixture of cholesterol, fats, and fiber in our stomach, and it starts to move through the gut into the small intestine to be absorbed. As this is happening, the liver is pumping out bile to help break down and absorb the fat, and that bile also contains cholesterol. That's why you see the little C's in the liver coming out into the small intestine. So you have this cholesterol coming from your liver, you have the cholesterol and fat that you're getting from your diet, and then there may be this soluble fiber in the mix that forms a partnership. And you can see as you look down in the diagram into the small intestine where the C's and the O's actually join together. That's how you're actually minimizing how much free cholesterol and free saturated fat gets absorbed back into the liver to make more cholesterol. So it's not that soluble fiber is like Drano, clearing out all the fat and deposits from your artery walls. It's not that simple. But it's certainly all about the gut and the digestive process and that partnership forming from the soluble fiber as it moves through your gut. So how much fiber should we target? Well, ideally, we want you to get between 25 and 38 grams per day is what's recommended. But most Canadians are only getting about half that amount. So that's a problem. So what does approximately 25 to 38 grams look like? Well, there are a number of different pictures up here, and you can see that 2 Weetabix biscuits have 3 grams of fiber. An apple or a medium-sized whole fruit has about 4 grams of fiber. If you were to take half a cup of rolled oats, like we saw on the previous slide, that would contain about 9 grams of fiber. A slice of whole grain bread has at least 2 grams of fiber, with some breads having up to 4 to 6 grams per slice. A potato with the skin has 2 grams, and 1 cup of cooked lentils has about 4 grams. And a couple of, medium-sized carrots, we've thought about 6 grams, but the whole point of this is not to make, every single gram and every single food, but as you can see, it's not that difficult to get 30 grams. It just takes a little bit more planning in terms of making choices and making sure you include those plant foods. In addition to increasing fiber in your diet, you want to make sure that you're mindful about increasing the water you're drinking as your fiber intake goes up. Water is very important for fiber to actually function properly in your gut. So you want to make sure that at each meal or each snack, whenever you're having fiber in your meals and snacks, that you do have water as the primary beverage. As well, you want to add fiber slowly. If you haven't been used to eating a lot of plant foods, then you certainly don't want to change drastically overnight. Your body will let you know, hey, whoa, that's too much. So adding fiber slowly to allow your digestive system to adapt is certainly an important thing to keep in mind. So where can you start? Try enjoying fruit with every meal to start. Then progress to adding nuts and maybe some high fiber cereal to your breakfast meal. Try making half your plate at lunch and at supper vegetables. Consider adding raw veggies and dip to your lunch. It's a great addition to any packed meal. And switch to your whole grain. So try using whole wheat bread, brown rice, maybe go for a side of quinoa or replace your pasta, your white pasta, with whole wheat pasta. And incorporate more beans and legumes into your diet on a regular basis. Thanks for joining us today. If you have specific questions or would like to take a deeper dive into your own personal eating habits, feel free to book a consult with one of our registered dietitians. Thanks for listening.